Hello, welcome to another installation of TechTalk. We are back. It is Friday. It's going to be a hot topic. Mikey Mike, what do you got for us?
Hey guys, topic this week is hot slabs. And I'm not talking about when you get home from the bottle shop at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You have to put a couple in the freezer because the game's going to kick off in half an hour. Then you forget they're in the freezer, then they explode, and then you get in trouble from your missus and you got to clean the freezer out. Not talking about those hot slabs. Talking about hot slabs underfoot, slabs on site. Time of year that it is. I've been posed this issue a couple of times, and it's nice to be able to catch up and chat it out and get some tips and tricks. And yeah, what are your thoughts, guys?
It's that time of year again, isn't it? Hello, everyone, and welcome to a nasty hot summer down under. I'll say this every time we get extreme weather, whether it be winter or summer, we start to hear the same questions again. And as contractors, we can be so guilty of not thinking ahead and planning for the seasons. Our tools, what's their biggest enemy? What is a concrete grinding tool's biggest enemy?
Heat. No, the operator.
That's right. The operator. the guy turning the dials, the concreter.
Heat.
The other guy who's doing it for $10 less a square meter. Heat is the biggest factor that affects productivity or working rate for a tool. So, yeah, when we get hot weather, like we're experiencing at the moment, and in particular, we're doing a lot of first stages, which is our 30s and 50s and our grout. That's out in plus 35 degrees. So that slab is getting pretty hot. So I'm going to actually throw this one over to Milan from a contractor's perspective with all of his experience. Milan, what are some of the things that contractors should be considering about when we talk about creating the right operating environment for our tools, knowing that they just can't stand this bitchin' heat? What do we do?
I mean, you mentioned it before, the heat is the biggest enemy when we're doing grinding, or at least dry grinding. Everybody knows in summertime when you walk barefoot off the beach onto some concrete, that's stinging, ouch. So on a bare open house slab that's been exposed direct to the wonderful sun we get here in Australia, it gets really, really hot. So where do we think that heat is going after that? That's going directly into the tool, and that's just going to amplify the tool performance. So a couple of things that we can look at is what can we do to control our environment. So in wintertime, we talk about a lot of introducing a bit of heat to it, but in summertime, we want to do the opposite. And one good thing is when you're just going to set up a job site, soak that slab, let it have a good old drink. And once the water has, disappeared from the surface, the concrete is damp, don't be afraid to give it a light mist in front of the grinder as well. Ultimately, you do want the material to be dry behind the machine, but really it's about controlling and lowering that temperature in that open slab as best you can.
Yeah.
So we don't have the luxury of air conditioning out in the open. So
no, but I heard every builder offers now to put underfloor cooling in with every polished concrete.
just for the concrete grinding process.
Yeah.
Then they take it out, right?
That's right. Take it out post construction. Very good. It's good if you've got a builder who can accommodate. And one of the things that from a contractor's perspective that Milan, I really expected you to cover would also be planning the construction as well, or the time that you're going to be doing it. It could be possible that the actual planning of the build could be structured in a way it's done at a cooler time, or that the finishing. Say, for instance, if you're polishing out in direct sunlight, that could be done when there's actually a roof over top. It's also my preference. It doesn't necessarily cost the builder anything for you to come back at a later date, but it may have a significant impact to the way that the project gets finished. So there's always some types of controls that can be brought to the project and helping control the environment that not just the contractor can bring to the equation, but a solution that the builder can also offer too. Whether that is going to be in-floor cooling, Daniel.
Well, also too, we talk about doing early starts, and hey, if it's a new slab, it's probably in a new area, there's probably not too many neighbours, so You're able to get an early start, early finish. We all like a bit of that.
Joshy, would it help at all? Let's say we're doing first cut. And I know you're not a massive fan of doubles, rocks doubles. Not saying because of the tool, just because you like performance, you like singles. So the question is, to reduce the heat, could we increase our footprint under the machine, slow the productivity down, but reducing the heat?
Absolutely, you can slow the productivity down. Just slow it right down. Just don't even get anything done for the day, Daniel. It's summertime, man. Just cruise. Just get burnt out there.
Slab Mike was talking about instead.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe just pull up a deck chair and drink that Slab Mike bought. You're like, warm beer.
For non-Victorians, by the way, a slab of beer is like a case of beer, if anyone's hungry.
It's like a case of beer, but I think I still strongly recommend buying both and comparing to yourself. Okay, so Daniel, if I understand you correctly, you're suggesting going for a full set of double segments to reduce the amount of heat that's being built up.
Right.
Yeah. In this particular scenario, because the concrete slab is so much hotter than it regularly is, putting on those extra segments is going to have such a small impact as far as reducing the temperature. The temperature is really going to be amplified, like Milan said, from the concrete itself. What we're usually seeing happen is a concrete having a low ambient temperature and actually sucking the heat into the mass and helping us reduce the temperature that way. We're having the absolute opposite right now, the extreme opposite, where it's getting hotter than our starting temperature tool and actually increasing the heat in the tool by working on it and not sucking anything out whatsoever, just making it worse. I would not. I would be looking to reduce the amount, stick with those singles. Every revolution counts on this, and the less time that you spend in one spot counts, because the more time you spend in one spot, the more heat you're going to generate.
Yeah.
So I would stick to those singles rather than the doubles, because you'll spend more time on the one spot to remove the material, generating more heat.
So basically, your biggest fan is going to be, obviously, like Milan mentioned, really soaking that slab to the point of rejection, letting those tools draw the moisture and help cool the tool.
And the timing.
Yeah.
Quick question: effects on your chemicals that you're putting down, your potassium, your lithium, your grout.
Yeah.
Any sort of major effects there, or just?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in an ideal scenario, everything would be constant, but in this instance, you're going to have to adjust. For example, how long you leave the densifier on. But if you're doing the first cut, it doesn't really matter, because you will be coming back down the later process. But grout, you wouldn't be able to spray out as much as you normally do, or how much water you put down for the grout to go down, you'll need to adjust. So it's again about reading what the floor is doing, and in return, what's coming back at it or from the machine. So it's one of those things, you're just going to have to adjust based on how much heat is being produced from that floor.
By having that extra sun, Josh, let's say we applying, we transitioning, we've just grouted, we applying our potassium densifier, totally boost potassium densifier. Will the sun, like obviously that densifier is getting baked in the sun, right? Like you spray it out, you have your flood cold there, we're spraying more densifier down to try to cool it, and you're having all that extra heat. What is the best way to work through that? Like, what is your suggestion?
Look, timing is everything. During summer, yeah, you can spray densifier down, but you also want to get maximum penetration out of the densifier too. But if it's already going off, before it starts to penetrate deep into the pores, it's all going to be sitting on the surface, because it just cooks as soon as you apply it.
Yeah.
So again, you've just got to go, all right, well, what is the advantage of me putting this down at 4 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm actually not going to be doing any other processes after this? Is there any advantage? Or am I going to come back tomorrow morning and put that stuff down? All right. We already know it's going to be a hot day. There's already going to be some retained heat in the mass of that the concrete is. So it's already going to be quite warm when you return the next morning. So my recommendation there would be to apply the densifier the next day, if that's a possibility. The next question that I'm going to get is, I'm doing 200s and I'm getting all these swirl marks, and I don't know what's causing it. Well, again, you're applying sunscreen to your body, and you're wearing a hat and trying to cover up, and the concrete is exposed to all the sunlight, got all this extra heat in there, and now you're getting swirls on the concrete, and you're wondering why that's happened. Again, do we do this at the end of the day? If we got no other option, then we just got to back off the speed and reduce the temperature in the tool. But if you're doing 200s at the end of the day, your next process is going to be a lick coat of lithium. That's going to be hard to put down. And then you're going to go do 400s out in the in the high heat of the day. Forget it. You're better off coming back the next morning and starting off with that lick coat of lithium, get set up, put the 400s on, and operate as per usual. And then as the heat increases in the concrete itself, start pulling back some temperature. Start pulling back some temperature by pulling back some speed.
We could look at some things like introducing, I guess, additional pucks underneath the machine to try and reduce the pressure as well. But not only that, you could look at the different style of resins we have. For example, the Flex might be the better option. Not so much if you've just done a lick coat of lithium, but if you didn't, if you're going into the Flex and there's a lot of heat, it's a much better tool of choice at distributing that heat than some of the other resins. So being mindful of tool selection as well will be the key.
Yeah. What makes you say that is that because of the smaller segments, the more of and smaller segments to dissipate the heat more.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So the essentially, Mike, the tools that we know from experience run at a higher speed, handle the temperature better. So knowing that, they're the ones we throw under in these particular conditions.
So I needed a nice new set of soft 30 quadruples.
Yeah, awesome. That's a great subject.
Good one, guys.
The great thing is also for those people who've got one of those nice tanks on their machine, you can put Kool-Aid in. That'll help cool your tooling. And also, I heard Josh talk about a new Works Plus concrete polishing app, weather app, that'll allow you to cater your jobs around the weather.
It's not April yet, man. Look, and this is the thing, I can guarantee you, as soon as winter rolls around, I'm going to get the telephone calls about the undercurrent over voltage, and I'm going to get the sealer, the sealer separating and the sealer not coming off the floor questions. I know it's going to happen. All right, I know it's going to happen, but at some point, us contractors are going to learn that when the new seasons roll around, we've got to change the way that we do things and plan ahead for that. So, in light of all of this hot weather, what do you guys do for the weekend?
Water. Go in it and swim.
I'm going to do some product training and get one of those slabs to check out.
Sampling, huh?
The cricket finals
Thanks,
on tonight, guys. The big bash,
Nice.
What's cricket?
One of those bugs that make a lot of noise in hot weather.
That sounds accurate to me.
Thanks very much, guys. Beauty, give it a hand clap, a Daniel hand clap. Beauty, you guys. All done. Question asked and question answered. Good one.
That's
we'll be all on board for next week. Ready to
See
go.
you next week.
And don't forget,
And you'll have...
we still haven't seen any of those suntan lines. You haven't sent anything through yet. So, gentlemen, please get posting.
Comment below. Comment below.
I don't have much either.
Oh, that's bright.
Sorry.
Righto, guys.
All right, gentlemen. Nice to see you again.
See you, boys.
Saturday morning. See you guys.